Bienvenidos to another episode of Gracias, Come Again. I'm going to kick it off in Spanish off the rip because my guest today is Dominicano, Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso. Welcome to Gracias, Come Again.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to get into this conversation.
You are so dope, and I am so impressed with you, your trajectory, and just what you represent for us Latinos, New Yorkers, Dominicans. I'm like, nah. That's my man. I said I haven't met him yet, but he's already the homie.
I appreciate it. No, look, I've done so much work in this community. I started when I was like 20 years old into politics because Barack Obama, and I was just born into a crazy time in politics. But it's always good to like just come home, be with my peoples, and just be able to tell people what it is we're doing for them and how we're helping. But always fun to get on and be able to educate and inform people on the work we're doing. Yeah.
Son of Dominican immigrants?
Yes.
Talk to me. ¿Capitaleños o ciudadanos?
No me haga eso.
Dime.
Yo soy aguilucho. I'm from Puerto Plata. So my parents, my father was a milk herder, right? So we come from, modest means. We're all right in DR. But they came here from the Dominican Republic in the late 1970s. So I tell people all the time, welfare, food stamps, Section 8. Like we were in every single government subsidy that existed. We had to take advantage of it so that we have food in our stomachs. And
we were struggling at the beginning,
exactly.
As immigrants and, as our parents, they didn't even speak English. How do you get a proper job or anything when you don't even speak the language when you land?
Yeah, my father worked he worked in a golf resort, going to find the golf balls when people hit it the wrong way.
Where?
In
Long Island?
No, Pine Hollows. Yeah, in Long Island. Pine Hollows. I've been there one time, but Pine Hollows.
That's in Woodbury?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I know exactly.
He used to work. He started working there, and then he became a cook in Park Avenue, and then he went back there towards the end. Before he retired and went back to the Dominican Republic. So he did
he's
that.
There now?
No, my father passed away in February, so he just recently passed away. Yeah, but he was a happy and joyful person. So he's, I know he's smiling and having a good time wherever he is. And then my mother is a home health aide. So she takes care of, la viejita, cuidando la
giving back and loving, the elderly and the vulnerable, the people that need that help,
Yes. It's a job that people take for granted. We have a growing, aging population and not enough people to take care of these folks. So you see a lot of them struggle, dying earlier than they need to, not getting the care that they need. So, my mom's job, even though it's like a low-wage job, has been meaningful to her and to the people around her.
It's a very important job. You could get paid millions and not make an impact. How about that?
Exactly. And I feel like my mom, I'm telling you, she's one of those crazy Dominican ladies. So she's always busy, always washing dishes, washing clothes, can never stay still.
Stop. Why are you describing me right now?
Well, she's retired. My mom is retired, and she's still 18 hours. 18 hours. If you work for 18 hours a week, you still can consider yourself retired. She's working 18 hours a week. I'm like, Mom, te tiene que retirar. She bought a house in DR. She built a house in DR.
Dime.
En Puerto Plata. In La Villa Isabela is what it's called. Como 25 minutos de una playa que se llama La Ensenada, which is a beautiful, beautiful beach. But my mom, I'm telling you, retire. We'll take care of you. She can't. She's like, what am I going to do over there? I'm going to get bored.
If you rest, you rust.
Exactly. Hello. She said it. I'm going to poner más vieja.
Claro que sí. Déjala que se quede activa. Okay, glowing the Planet Fitness and doing her hair and cooking her sancochito y su vaina.
She's doing great. Yeah.
That's what's up. Now, let's talk about education.
Yes.
Your college journey.
So my family.
I read on your background on your college journey, and I saw things.
It's a lot of things, but when I was very young, the generation of my cousins that came from the Dominican Republic, and they were like 15. I was born in New York City. They weren't. They got involved in some terrible things and in the drug trade.
Un tigreaje.
Eso mismo. So I have cousins que están muertos, some that are deported, some that are arrested. And we had my aunt, Norma Espinal is one of the first ones, and she decided that she was going to start sending her kids and all the nephews. We were all going to go to private school. So we ended up going to a private Catholic school. I went to La Salle Academy, which is, if you know anything about private schools, like God went there, Ron Artest went there. So we went to that school, and it saved my family's life. All of the young people started becoming professionals, going to college.
Fly.
Yeah, so just because she was like, we can't lose another generation to the drugs and to cocaine. It was the south side of Williamsburg in the 70s and 80s was wild. And they wanted to protect us from that. So after my elementary school, I went there. And then I went to college in Syracuse, a place called Lemoyne College. I tell people I got a 1.4 GPA.
I read that.
Yeah.
I said, and here we are, a Brooklyn Borough president with what type of GPA?
Yeah. You know what though? When I first got there, it was a culture shock. I went to a school. I was the only black boy in the room. And, and you live in New York City, there's only probably one white guy in the room.
Exactly. You are the majority in New York City.
So it was just a culture shock. I wasn't ready for school, but I had a mentor called Carl Thomas, who was one of the first black men that ever graduated from that school. And he was a great mentor.
And he still worked in the school. I love that.
And he just was like, tough love, a lot of tough love. And he was just like, no excuses. He's like, stop being lazy, stop making excuses. And he always said, you want to go back to the block? Is that what you want to do? And he really turned my life around, believed in me, and it's because of him that I'm here. Yeah.
And while I was reading on that, there was a line that stuck with me. It was like, he said, like, we don't have the luxury of not having a plan. Can we speak on that? How, we don't, as black and brown, have that luxury?
He said, you're too poor not to plan. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you don't have the luxury of just like waiting around because your parents don't have any money. So when you go back, you're not a trust fund baby. You're not going to be able to go and explore the first 3 years of your life. You're going to go home and you're going to get to work. And it's like, so we need to prepare you right now. And he said I needed a 5, 10, and 20-year plan. My 5-year plan was obviously to graduate. Mm-hmm. My 10-year plan was, I told him I wanted to make like $100,000. I was like, I just want to make 6 figures.
Qué lindo.
And he was like, sure. And then my 20-year plan, I just couldn't figure it out. And he said, stop, don't think about money. Just think about achieving something great. Be great. And I told myself that I was going to be the first Dominican congressman in the history of the United States. As I told him, and I always tell Adriano Espaillat.
I was just going to say,
so Adriano ruined my dream. I tell Adriano all the time, you crushed my dreams.
Me dañaste el plan.
Yeah, you were supposed to be my guy, and we just laugh about it. But that was about 22 years ago. Mm-hmm. So my 20-year plan.
But you look 22. I'm so confused right now.
I'm 43 years old.
Never. Are you?
Yes.
You would have told me you were 33. I would have believed you.
I appreciate that, man. I got good genes, man. Skinny head. I got like a skinny head, so it makes me look younger than I really am. But I'm married and got 2 children. I got an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old,
God bless.
And they're good kids. But that I'm 22 years from when I made that commitment to Mr. Thomas that I would become a congressman, and
is he still with us?
He's still with us.
He knows everything about you.
He knows everything.
How proud is he?
He's so proud. But if you meet him, he's like, you were a piece of work. Because I've come a long way from my college days. Let me tell you.
I can imagine. 22 was very different.
I was a problem. Back in college, I cared. I liked having fun. I threw a lot of parties, and I was just like, the academics wasn't what I was focused on initially, but my schools, both in LaSalle Academy and in Lemoyne College in my college years, cared less about academics and more about good people. They always used to tell me that the valedictorian was never the person with the highest GPA. It was the person that did the most community service.
That's fly.
And it was just like, that's it, because it's like we got a bunch of smart people in the world.
Morals.
We don't have as kind people. So I really came from like a school of kindness and of love, and it was really cool. And I was an angry young man in college. By junior and senior year, I had a lot of love in my heart, and my trajectory in my career, in my life, from my junior year in college to now has been like a rocket ship exploding, and it's all because of love. I just love everything. I love everybody. I don't hate anybody. You can hate me. I'm not going to hate you. I don't have time for that. And I always end my speeches with like, this is one of the quotes from one of the greatest poets to ever grace the great land of Brooklyn. His name is Christopher Wallace. Most people know him as the Notorious B.I.G. And he says, spread love is the Brooklyn way. And that's what I've been doing since my sophomore year in college.
That's what's up, man. If you're going to take a line from anybody, let it be big, right?
Biggie was the man. Yeah. He went through a lot of crazy things too, and he still says spread love in one of his raps. And it's just like, that's big time. When you suffer and you go through what we go through and you can still see light, it's awesome. It's awesome.
And you can still, be the change that you wanted to see. As corny as that line is,
I know.
It's super important.
Yeah. You know that when I go to colleges and I explain how I got here, the first thing I tell people is I'm not special in any way, and that I'm poor. I came from the streets. I came from a tough place. And that they can get to where I am, because when I was young, I used to see people saying speeches or do a commencement speech in a graduation. I was like, man, that kid must have been a 4.0 GPA, working 80 hours a week. Like, it's just like, no, that's not the case. I'm a regular kid that found what he loved to do, had a lot of love in his heart, and like chased his dreams, because I really want them to feel like they can connect and they can get there too, because too many people that just feel that what I've obtained has to do with the fact that I'm extraordinary in some way, shape, or form, and it isn't the case. I did little things that took me very far, and I try to impart that to the younger generation.
But we've got to add some other stuff. Was it the connections? Was it the drive? Was it the obsession to be successful? There's got to be some more secrets you're not telling me.
I I call it's like a Mamba mentality type of situation. Okay. So I'm just competitive. And
Kobe was your guy?
Kobe was my guy. That was my favorite player in the NBA. I was a crazy Kobe fan for sure. But the thing with me is that I don't care what I'm playing. I play anything: basketball, football, spelling bee, dance contest.
Lo que sea.
I'm gonna be the best, and I just care about just beating everybody all the time. So I'm very competitive. It's my mom. I'm gonna go a little deep here. You know, it's trauma from when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. You know, my mom thought I was always. She thought I was special. She was like, "You're very smart.
Okay.
You're a kind kid," and she had high expectations of me, very high expectations. So I could come home with like a 95.
Out of how many siblings?
It was only 3 of us. So
and it was only you that she had that
one? Only me. And
okay.
We had a conversation about why it happened that way. And she said some things that she shouldn't have said. But for my mom, she was just like, I knew Antonio was special at a very young age. And I expect greatness from him. So I come home with a 95 and I used to be in trouble. You know, my mom used to, la chancleta de una vez. At 95,
¿Y ese 100 dónde está?
Yo, only hundreds. If I got anything less than 100, my mom would really bring the business. And my sisters didn't get that same energy. And my mom said that she thought I had something. So now I have this trauma of like never being good enough and always had like 100 was the only thing that was acceptable. So my life, it drove me in a positive way, I think, where I wanted to be the best at everything I did because I'm always my little boy inside my body is trying to make my mom happy.
It's still there.
And I'm still doing it to this day.
You're an overachiever because mom ingrained that in you.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
You got to be nothing but the best. Don't come here with no 97.5. I need a straight 100.
Exactly. Always.
So we can attribute it to mom.
Yeah, I give my mom all the love. You know, I'm in couples therapy now with my wife. And it was funny.
For good? Why are you in couples therapy?
We had a hard.
You decided?
We had a hard time.
Okay.
Because
is it working?
Oh my God! It saved our marriage.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Incredible.
I'm happy to hear that.
We just renewed our vows. We did 10 years.
Oh, God bless you.
Married, and my kid was like 5. We had a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. It was COVID. And it was just like we were ready to kill each other.
And en la casa también.
En la casa, yeah. But then now my kids are 8 and 5, and it's like we don't need to pay attention to them every 5 seconds. They could survive without us. And it changed. Now we started liking each other again and being
Aren't
with
you
each
so
other.
happy you thugged it out with her?
I am, and I want to. And we did the vow renewals because I got a lot of family. I have a large family in Brooklyn, and we just want to be show the models of like success. And I want to be clear that my success isn't like, oh, we've been perfect for 10 years. They saw all the nastiness in our relationship, and they saw us when we were down, and now they're seeing us when we're up. And it's just like that's what these relationships are. They're good, bad, highs and lows, but we can always like make it happen. So we threw the vow renewal to recommit to ourselves, but also show my family and her family. It's like, let's keep fighting. Everybody just stay with it. So
and sometimes the vulnerability and the transparency with your family lets them know like we're all gonna go through something. But if the love is real and the commitment is there,
absolutely.
You can see it through anything.
Absolutely. So it's been great. But it was, what was I? In the yeah, but that's it. But that's pretty much it.
He's like, that's it.
I have something else that I forgot about.
But man, congratulations. And I'm glad to hear, therapy works because a lot of people say, eso no sirve, eso no trabaja. ¿Qué es lo que tú vas a hacer?
It's not true. We don't even know what we're doing wrong because we never been taught how to be in relationships. My father's relationship was horrible.
Tumultuous?
Yeah, it was tough. My father used to cheat a ton. There was no communication, a hierarchy that was like completely unacceptable. And I'm a quiet guy too. My father was quiet. He didn't say a lot of words to my mom. Never said I love you to his kids. He was just a quiet, strong man, a provider.
That strong Latino, like, yo no te voy a estar abrazando, no te voy a estar besando, no te voy a estar diciendo que yo te quiero. I'm here. I provide. That's how I show my love.
Exactly. So when I was in a relationship, I'm like, I'm cold. I'm trying to not being cold, but I'm trying to be I was a little bit. And then but because I got too much, now I tell my father before he passed away, I say I love you all the time, so I make him uncomfortable.
You used to force hug him?
Hug him.
That's me with my mom. My mom doesn't like to hug. I hug her on purpose.
My father's like, yo, what are you doing? It's like, come over here, papi. And he was like,
See?
So as he got older, he warmed up and started getting softer. And my father has 2 kids outside of my mother, like with another woman that are younger. And he showed them a lot of love, man. He used to take them to school. He did things he never did with us. And we're very proud, very proud of my dad's growth and allowing him to grow at an older age. So it's pretty cool.
And that's beautiful. But I feel like that also stems from, our parents having to come here and having to be so tough and having to grind. They didn't have time to be like, ven, siéntate aquí, vamos a peinarte el pelo. That's not the case. They struggling. They applying for Section 8. They trying to get food stamps. They over here trying to get their paperwork right. And I show my mom grace, and I show, the adults in my family grace, because I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to do it.
It's the no excuses part of so then when I say my speech for the kids, it's always like, no excuses. One, I'm like, you're from Brooklyn. Don't make no excuses. Like, stop it. Everybody's life is hard in their own way, and the excuses are going to hold you back. But my mom came here from the Dominican Republic with no money, and my father, no money. And they're out here grinding in the south side of Wintersburg, where there were 260 murders or 240 murders a year.
It was not safe.
A year. Every other day. Every 3 days, 2 people were dying in the South Side, and I'm out here in a place where there's like 2 murders a year, if we're lucky. It's nowhere near us. My kid is going to like a progressive education in the local school that I went to. I went to Roberto Clemente, PS 19, and he's going to the Arbor School. It got a new name, but it's just like we don't have any excuses.
We don't.
Like it's nonsense what these people went through. They don't speak the language. It's come on,
Antonio. I would never move to Germany and be like, I'm gonna start a life here.
Exactly.
Are you crazy?
I can't even imagine.
I don't even travel places where they don't really speak English or Spanish.
Yeah, I want to move to the Dominican Republic, and I'm scared. It's just like, and I know the language. It's my home country, and it's like, oh, do we want to jump and do this? It's like, nah, we're not ready for that.
Un poquito extraño, right?
Yeah, exactly. But here, they come over here.
But they did it. They came, sin dinero, sin papeles, sin idioma, sin trabajo, sin casa, mudándose en cuarto alquilado. I would not be able to do it. Kudos to them. Yeah. But that also says why they couldn't be soft, why they couldn't baby us, why they couldn't be like, mi amorcito, siéntate aquí. They were stressed the hell out. They didn't know how they were going to pay the rent.
They were. And you see them with their grandchildren.
Oh,
I'm like, who is this lady? My mom is a whole different person.
Because now she can be soft.
Oh my gosh, she's so she loves. They call my youngest son. We call him El Gordo. He's not even fat. We just how Dominicans say to give opposite names or whatever. El Gordo, ven acá. She loves him so much and shows so much love. And he does something wrong. No, we used to do things wrong right away, la chancleta, una pela. But with these kids, they could run around, do whatever they want, and she just but it's good.
But it gives them that opportunity to be that soft, loving woman, and just tap into their femininity that they couldn't because it was locked in, struggling and surviving.
Yeah, not anymore. So my mom is in a good place. If you meet my mom, she's a joy. She's like a bubble of joy.
What's
all
her
the
name?
Time. Maritza Sosa.
Yeah,
Maritza. Shout out to her, our mommy.
She did a good job raising you.
Thank you.
That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now, when did it stick to you that you're like, I'm gonna go into government or I'm gonna go into politics? Yeah. Like, how does that even happen for a Dominican guy?
So I was in college. I was in Lemoyne College. I'm with my friends and Mr. Thomas. He's like, you guys gotta
Shout out Mr. Thomas.
Yo, Mr. Thomas, let me tell you, you need a mentor. Every young black boy needs a mentor. You don't even know you.
I thought you were telling me I need a mentor.
Oh no,
I'm like,
I mean, the world does, but
yeah,
all the black boys need mentors, and not your pops. Like your pops could be your mentor, but you need somebody. My pops didn't know anything. He was a farmer from the Dominican Republic, and his mentorship was just like provide for your family. Be strong. Mr. Thomas had more, like it was more complicated or had more depth to his mentorship.
African American man?
Yeah, African American man. Carl Thomas, not the singer. His name was Carl Thomas. We used to make fun of him all the time. But he was just like, you guys, all you do, you throw parties, you go hang out, you go to the gym, you go eat, and you go to class on occasion. You guys need to do something outside of the school and help other people. So we started an organization called Bond, Brothers on a New Direction.
Oh, I like that.
And it was a club that existed that Mr. Thomas was a part of, 30 years before we got there. And then it went defunct and we brought it back. And
you were like, let's give it CPR?
Exactly. He loved it. He was like, oh, you brought Bond back. I was like, yeah, we went to go tutor East Syracuse Puerto Rican kids that had the lowest educational attainment in all of the state, in all of New York State. Oh, wow. They were sixth graders reading at first grade level. And we're like, let's go and tutor the kids. And Mr. Thomas said, you throw a party and a ton of people show up. You'll be surprised what you can do with leadership. Like, use that for leadership. And I was like, all right, I'm going to put a little poster up with Bond, with my brother Vuma Whitehead, Aris Neris Herrera, who's here. And we put up a little flyer. And instead of just like 6 of us coming, like from the suite, it was like 25 people showed up.
And
Mr. Thomas was like, get another bus, get a van. You see, Antonio, this is what you
sparked something in him too.
Yeah, it's like leadership. It's just, you have leadership and you're using it to throw parties. Start using leadership to like bring people to do affect change in young people's lives. But then I got angry when I got there because these kids never seen a Latino college student. They didn't believe it. I had to go 3 times before they were like, "You're really in college?" It was like, "Yo, we all go to college. If you want, we'll do a trip to my college so you can see my dorm." They couldn't believe it because they never saw somebody that looked like them in college. It was the kids. It was the kids. The kids didn't believe we were in college. The kids had no ideas of like pop culture or just like social studies or social issues. They couldn't read very well.
Super sheltered?
Yeah, I don't know what it. I think is the education system sucks so bad. Mm-hmm. And that's what got me angry. And so I started getting activated. And it's like, this is unacceptable. The education system in New York State sucks. These Puerto Rican kids shouldn't be where they are. And I just got angry. And the anger kind of started driving me to like affect change and be more active. And then I graduated and I started working for an organization called Acorn. And Acorn is run by John Kess and Bertha Lewis. And those are 2 leaders that founded the Working Families Party. So I was working to get childcare providers.
You were in Syracuse or you already came back?
I was here. Okay. I came back. I can't stay in Syracuse. Too much snow. But there was a childcare providers that were seen as glorified babysitters. And we saw them as early childhood educators. Beautiful. So we got them organized and had them join the teachers union. And that's what I did in my first job, is organizing. So then after that, I started working for a councilwoman called Diana Reyna. I started an organization that fought against the corrupt Brooklyn Democratic Party. The Democratic Party's boss got arrested and went to jail. The last 3 in a row all went to jail over corruption. So we were there to reform it. And then Barack Obama got elected. So it's just like I was living in a political like high. And I didn't even think about, I just worked 12 hours a day. I didn't even feel it. It was just like natural.
Because you loved it.
I loved it. And I just kept going. And the council member I worked for was a council member from the district I was born and raised in Williamsburg in the South Side. So from there I ran, became council member. And then after that I ran and became borough president. Yeah. So,
is that normal for somebody so young?
Is not. So I'm the youngest borough president in the history of New York, elected to a 4-year term.
Like, that's insane. Yeah, it is. I am so impressed.
And to be a Dominican at that, because Brooklyn is not Dominican. Brooklyn is not Latino. It's black and white. It's about 38% white, 40% black. And then just like, 14% Latino. So I didn't do it with identity politics.
Who got you elected? You know.
Well, I want to say this. I had a really broad coalition.
Okay.
Because I'm also like a crazy progressive. So I'm like that Dominican that I like bike lanes. So trust me, the taxi drivers, when I go I can't get a haircut. The taxitas come and they're like, coño, con esta bicicleta, esa bicicleta, le voy a dar a uno, Antonio, le voy a dar a uno. I'm like, oh, easy. So they come at me, but they love me because, one, I'm like honest and sincere, but I'm also one of them. They saw me grow up since I was a little kid, and they loved me for it. So my people in Williamsburg and Bushwick and East New York and Cypress Hills came through, but also like a lot of white progressives came through. So, and young black population was with me too. So the young vote really carried me in Brooklyn, and it was extraordinary.
So it was a whole community, pretty much.
Yeah, first Dominican borough president in the history of the city of New York.
I am so proud of you. You don't understand.
Thank you so much. So I just feel good, like, it just feels good, and I'm like real Brooklyn, like through and through.
You still live a couple of blocks from your original building?
Yeah, so I grew up in a Cross building on South 3rd and Hughes, and now I live on Hughes and South 5th in a 2-family home. I rent. I'm a renter with my kids, so my kids are growing up in the same community I grew up in. My boys go to the same school I went to, so keeping everything kind of the same. And we it's beautiful. My family's there, so a lot of babysitting assistants and things like
really?
that. Yeah, so it's really
How
good.
gentrified is your area, or you still feel at home?
No, so right now Williamsburg is still like 30% Latino, and it's all centered.
Don't leave, please.
I won't, but it's all centered in one area that we can't leave. So it's all been protected. Los Sures, St. Nick's, People's Firehouse, North Brooklyn Development Corporation, Krause, Lindsay Park. Those areas are rent stabilized and non-for-profit protected housing.
Okay,
so they can't get rid of them no matter what. So you could still go to the south side, and in every other corner they're playing dominoes. The bachata's way too loud, the dembow is popping. It's like a whole different region in the south side of Williamsburg. Now you go to the north side, it's a little different, but the south side is Latino still.
Good, keep it for us.
Yeah, we trying.
My husband's from Brooklyn, and when we go back to his neighborhood, he's like, "This is not my neighborhood. These are not my people. You can't even sit on a stool." And he's like, "This was not here." He's by the Barclay. He's like,
oh yeah, that changed a ton. I would love to invite you to. We do a walking podcast in the South Side and show you how the preservation of housing through these non-for-profits is what saved us. It didn't exist in Bed-Stuy. It didn't exist in Fort Greene where your partner is talking about. Like the non-for-profit housing saved the South Side, and it's very rare. It's not everywhere in this borough, so we got very lucky.
I'm so happy that still exists because I'm like, yo, we have to have our neighborhoods where we grew up, like, you know, and where do we go? Yeah. Where do we go?
I want to say that we did. Back in the day, I used to be scared of growth. Like when you build buildings, it's like, oh, these new apartments, they're going to get us gentrified. Yeah. And what I learned was there was some data that Minneapolis and Austin, Texas, were the only two cities in all of America where rents went down. And what they did is they just built a ton, but they built a ton everywhere, not just in a few places. Bill de Blasio and Mike Bloomberg built in what they called opportunity areas that were almost exclusively Black and brown poor neighborhoods. So he didn't build in Park Slope and Brooklyn Heights and Sheepshead Bay and Bay Ridge. They didn't build in the affluent.
Left it for them. They left it for them. They took it from us.
So now we need 300,000 units of housing, but we've only built 100,000, but all those were built in Black and brown neighborhoods. So now you see the gentrification. But if we were to build 300,000 units because we opened up the areas that are white or affluent, then the gentrification doesn't get had, and the over-indexing or the amount of supply that we have of housing makes it so that the market is not so high, and now rents go down the way it did in Austin and Minneapolis. So I'm a big proponent of building and developing like south of Atlantic Avenue and letting people know if you live south of that area, I got love for you, but you're going to see some development. Because if we all build at the same time, all the prices go down. But if we're only building in a couple of little areas, it's not enough to stop the flow of people. So that's a new ideology that I've been able to pick up after like data and information is presented to me.
How do you sleep at night? Having Brooklyn on your back, do what you do.
Yeah, look.
You sleep good, or you have a lot of anxiety.
A lot of anxiety. I have a lot of joy. Yeah, I have a lot of joy. It's just,
amen.
It's a big borough.
It is,
and a lot of people have issues.
Brooklyn's a country.
Yeah, but also it's like you're in this business. The gratitude comes like once in a blue. But the problems come every day.
Totally, all right.
So yeah, somebody stopping me in the street, Doña Conchita's like, Antonio, 99% of the time is, I need an apartment. I need a job. I didn't eat today. My son is this. And it's just like, so as soon as they say my name, the anxiety kicks in. It's like, I know it's going to be another issue and I want to be hopeful, but that happens. The gratitude though, once in a blue, somebody's going to be like, hey, that park, man, my kid just used it and I know that you helped rebuild it. I really appreciate that. You don't get that a lot. So, and it's okay. I don't do this to get like pats on my back, but the negative energy that comes to you because people are stressed out, people are in pain, is a lot to bear. So that does take a toll on you because eventually you want to see some joy. Mm-hmm. So that's why I go to senior centers. I go to schools. I'm around kids because you just need to surround yourself with love and happy people. I was in a senior center working out on a chair, playing dominoes with the old men. And it's just like that made me feel at home. And you need to do that if you're an elected official because if you don't, you're going to lose your mind because it's just a lot of the pain of the people in your community that you're like taking on.
You see yourself going up in ranks as far as, politics go?
You know what? I'm competitive, right? So I wanted to always, I see myself like Mike Tyson type, right? Where I always punch slightly above my weight class, always, never go crazy. I'm not, there's a lot of people that run for office that talk a lot of smack, are very performative, and then lose with like 10% of the vote because they have no self-awareness. I don't like to do that. I like to fight like slightly above my weight class. Like I think this is a hard thing to do, but me puedo meter en eso. So I do that, but I have kids now, and my whole perspective has changed. So I'm running for Congress now. So in the district that I was born and raised in.
We're going to get you in Congress. Come on, let's make this happen.
Right? Inshallah.
Claro que sí.
So I'm running for Congress, and when I win that, it'll be the last time I ever run for office. That's the last thing I'm going to do.
Why? What's going on?
No, it's just I want to be with my kids.
We're not going to see you in the White House?
No, nothing else. Unless I just don't see it. My kids, I want to be there for my kids, like really be there.
Okay, good.
Even now during the campaign, I'm exhausted. And on Saturdays, I take my kid to play baseball. On Thursdays, I play catch with him and get him ready because those
One boy, one girl?
I got two boys.
Two boys?
Two boys. And the younger one is autistic. So he can't do the things the older one can do. But I need to just be there because I'm never going to get a Little League back. My son is in the 8-year-old Little League. Next year, he's in the 9-year. He's up one step. And it's just I'm not getting that back. And to be an elected official, after I leave, people will forget me in 2-3 years.
You know what? Once they grow up and they don't want to hang out with you no more, then you come back to politics.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know that's going to happen, right?
Exactly. Maybe it's like, I'll do a fresh.
Because when they're 17 and you can't find them, you be like, okay, let me go back. Now I'm going to try for presidency.
No, but this is it. This is where I wanted to be. This is where my dream is. I can't be greedy. God gave me. God took care of me. He told me.
This is amazing.
This is where you are. I'm like, thank you. And now I want to be satisfied. I want to stop chasing and just be content. And it's hard for me, but I'm getting to a place where it's just like, yo, just chill, bro. You got it. You did it.
Is it therapy that's helping you with this?
A little bit. Therapy and just my wife and my kids. It's
She's
just
Dominican
my wife and
too?
my kids. Yeah, my wife is Dominican.
You like problems.
Yeah, I know. She's a mental health. She does mental health too. She's a therapist as well.
Oh, okay, so that.
Yeah, so she's she never, what is it? She never therapizes me, whatever you want to call it.
She never treats you.
Yeah, she doesn't treat me. She can't.
Does she treat herself?
She's good.
Would you ever run for mayor?
No. They asked me to run for mayor this last time.
They did?
As borough president, I was asked by a couple of people to consider it.
Too much?
Yeah, my kids again.
Okay. So it's always going to come back to family and spending time with the kids.
Yeah, this is my family is the most important thing to me, and you can't be a mayor is only good for people without kids. You can't. That's why Bill de Blasio.
That's why they be elderly.
Yeah, Bill de Blasio's kid, the youngest one was 16 years old.
And Mom Dami doesn't have any kids.
He doesn't have any kids.
Okay, that's true.
And then Eric Adams' kids were like 30 years old.
So
Mike Bloomberg, exactly. So all these people they're not young families.
They're older.
You never see somebody with 2 young kids in a mayoralty, and it just doesn't happen. So it's not something you should do.
Prioritize the kids. Listen, we love you as Brooklyn Borough President. You're representing us in a way that's just, any chance I get, I'd be like, do you know Antonio Reynoso? Do you know he's Dominican? He's the first. And then people are like, that's what's up. And it's a fun fact, but it's also very impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, your agenda, the top of the list.
Yes.
Abolish ICE? What are we doing with ICE?
Abolishing it. I want to give you a little bit of background on this because people are like, abolishing ICE, what does that mean? Before 2002, ICE didn't exist before 2002. It was formulated as a counterintelligence surveillance agency surveillance agency against Muslims after 9/11. That's what it was formed for.
I can see it.
And then it modified itself to go after immigrants, and now it's become like this huge militaristic force put together by Donald Trump.
They just gave him like a $12 billion grant.
Yeah, it's wild what they do.
What is this? Do you understand some people don't eat in America?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? We have a war in Iran right now where they're spending $2 billion a day. $2 billion a day, and then they're telling you we got to cut Medicare for the old people, for the older population, SNAP? And SNAP benefits for poor people. It's nonsense because it's political will. Just want people to know. Everybody's like, how we're going to pay for it? We got more than enough money. If we can spend $2 billion a day in Iran, they're just not giving it to you. Mm-hmm. And like people are like blinded by the nonsense because what the Republican Party does really well is that they have a terrible agenda because their economic agenda is to make the top percent very wealthy and hang in there. They're having the greatest wealth transfer in the history of this country has happened over the last 5 years. And that includes Biden, I want to be clear, because we have what we call corporate Democrats too, that get bought out by corporations. So they don't pass policies that help the everyday American. They have policies that help these corporations, right? But what they need to do is that they need to find a scapegoat and they need to make sure that they could keep the people with little fighting against the people with less. That's very important to them. So what do you do when you have an economic policy that has you pay more in the supermarket? Your gas prices are going up. People are losing jobs. AI is taking people's jobs while Amazon is making $70 billion a year, and you're paying $120 to fill in a gas tank that you didn't do before. What do? You distract them and have them fight against a scapegoat. So what do? Immigrants. Immigrants have no power, no political capital, can't write legislation, can't get elected. These are the most vulnerable and arguably weakest politically capital people.
The easiest target.
And they don't affect your life in any way, shape, or form.
None.
But they're the ones we're gonna put everybody against because somebody's looking for somebody. My life is hard. It has to be because somebody did something. Somebody else did something. And I tell people, if your life is hard, maybe it's the people that are eating and having a good time that are the problem, not the people on the bottom that are struggling.
Those are our neighbors.
So I'm going to abolish ICE by going back to before 2002. Barack Obama deported more people than anybody in history of presidency. And he didn't use ICE to do it. What he did, he just went after criminals through a standard court system, which exists right now. So we can go back to just deporting people if you're a convicted criminal in the court system.
Because that was the whole, at the beginning, we're going to get rid of all the criminals.
Yeah. And then now,
and then it became everyone. Go to the schools.
Now you got kids, you got teachers, you got elderly. And this is like now, even the Republicans are, wait, we said rapists and murderers. That little kid is 5 years old. There's no way. And it's exactly that. But it's how they do it. But then the thing is that the Democrats will get into power. 70% of the country will be like, we need to get rid of, abolish ICE. And Democrats will be like, well, I don't know. And that's what people are tired of. It's like, we don't want to vote for you just because you're not Republican. We want you to do something. And we have these Republicans, these Democrats that just have done very little in a long time. So I want to abolish ICE. As soon as we get there, it's the number one priority is that we all got to start working to make sure that ICE is no longer an agency that terrorizes our people.
Which is what they do.
Yep, they do. But we can do it, and we will. Yeah, that's the first thing we're going to do.
Now, this affordability crisis that we're in right now.
Wild.
How do we exist?
And we don't. This is a city that's quickly becoming of the extremely poor and the extremely rich. There's no middle class here. You either need to be able to afford a 2-bedroom apartment for $5,000 or be in a rent stabilized apartment for like $600. So now you have people in NYCHA and then people like in
Park Avenue. From Barclay.
Exactly, making tons of money. What we need to do is rebuild the middle class, and the way you do that is through middle class housing. And right now, a lot of advocates, they fight almost exclusively for very low income housing, and they're like 40% affordable, or they want a 2-bedroom for $800. That we need those, but we also need a cop and a teacher, combined salary $130K a year. How do they don't qualify for those programs? Nope. But they also can't afford $5,000 a month. So we need to rebuild the middle class in New York City.
That gray area right there where you qualify for no help, but you can't exist is real.
That is real,
and it's a lot of us.
But the Democrats got to be a part of the solving for those people as well. We've abandoned those people. We're like, you know what?
They're fine. Everybody's like, oh, yo también. That's a cop. He makes money. That's a teacher. She makes money. No,
they're struggling.
They are.
If we start reinvesting in those people, the Democratic Party could be stronger than ever. So I want to go in and build housing. Like Mitchell Lama housing was the first form of affordable home ownership for the middle class. And then we stopped building it. And we stopped building 202 housing for seniors. We stopped building NYCHA. And I want to go back and pull those levers. Right now, the state and the city are doing this work of building housing by themselves. The federal government does not help in any way, shape, or form. But we need to get back into the business because we're in a crisis of housing, and the federal government should be helping us with the crisis. But right now they're not. So that's the work that we want to do when we get there. Yeah.
And you're doing amazing work. I dug really deep into the work that you're doing. And then I saw that you made this investment, sensory rooms in the public schools here in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Your son, what's your son's name?
Andres.
Andres inspired this?
He did. So Andres is in a school. I went to a school that had a sensory room, and it was amazing. There was a bunch of kids that were like neurodivergent.
So you went to visit?
I went to visit the school. I'm a borough president. I go to a D75 school. I get there. I know there's going to be kids with autism and like with disability, neurodivergent. And I know it's going to, and then I went to the sensory room. I was like, what the heck is this? And like, this is where they come, they settle down, they play, they do this. And it was just, it was like a gym. It was like an indoor gym with just, like you want to be there. Like
I was just going to say, you loved
amazing.
It?
I loved it. And I said, why doesn't every school have this? That is D75. Why every school that has autistic children should have this? Yeah. And they're like, well, it's an affordability issue. We can't afford it. So I put out a notice. I gave every single District 75 school in the borough of Brooklyn a sensory room last year.
That's beautiful.
So if you're a parent with a kid that is neurodivergent, that has autism or has a physical disability, and you're in a D75 school, you're going to have a sensory room. You don't need to go to the next neighborhood because they have one. No, anyone you go to, you can blindly close your eyes. You're going to get one because I want to build equity in the resources that people get. So, yeah, every single school in Brooklyn. So it doesn't matter where you go in Brooklyn. Sensory rooms are standard in every single school. Yeah.
And that's what we need. Our kids, they should feel safe. They should, if they're having an episode, they should be able to go into a space where they can calm down, where they can be soothed. And they can, go back into the classroom, with a hard reset. And if that sensory room is going to do it for them, they should have it.
Absolutely. You know that I think it's MetLife Stadium has a sensory room. If you have a kid and they're like not feeling good, you could tell them, is there a sensory room around here? And they will send you to a room where the kids could play with like squishy things that they step, they touch walls, that change colors in these stadiums because they know how important they are, but we don't have them in our local schools. So so it's something I'm really proud of. It's like I'm dedicating it through Andres. By the way, Andres' school is not a District 75 school. It's a regular school that has a program for people with autism, so he won't get a sensory room.
He won't get a sensory room?
He doesn't get it. So I wanted to show people that I'm doing this because I love D75 schools. It's not for my kid because
obviously not.
Sometimes people think, oh, you're only doing it because you want your kid to get one.
That means that you would have done it in your kid's school only, but you did not.
I did not. So
he didn't even get a sensory room.
He didn't even get one. We're gonna work it out. We're gonna figure it out. But yeah,
not gonna work. But I want you to know, we're super proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
As Latinos, as a Dominican, as a daughter of immigrants, as a New Yorker, I'm like, he is just me, but a man and a borough president.
There you go. No. I'm you. I hope you feel that way. I think our people have done amazing work. The contributions we've made to the city is like second to none, and you make us proud as well. So I'm deeply grateful to you. But our people have done amazing things, and we just got to we don't lose the hustle mentality that we were that our parents came here and instilled in us. Make sure we instill it in our children. Be careful with these what is it? Tú no sabe kids. Yo no sabo.
You speak Spanish to your kids?
I do, but my oldest son obviously is.
Don't tell me yo no sabo.
No. He knows more, but I can see it coming because the environment is not all Spanish. There's a lot of English, but we're trying.
But at home, it's Spanish.
We try our best. He's very committed to it.
Okay.
He loves it. He considers himself Dominican and he does not play games. He's like, I'm Dominican.
Isn't that so fly when kids born in the United States be like, I'm Dominican, and they embrace them both, the comida, absolutely. They got their flag, and they be more Dominicans than us.
My kid is Dominican. It's wild. He says little things. He's like, oh, it's because I'm Dominican. I'm like, what do you know about it?
That's so fly.
What do you know about being Dominican? He's like, that's why we do this. I do it because I'm Dominican. And he's playing baseball now.
A word?
So yeah, he started playing baseball in Little League. So he's good. He's doing good, man. My family's really good. We're really blessed. We're fortunate people.
That's good. And, they're blessed to have you, and they're blessed that, you're putting the family name por todo lo alto, como decimos nosotros. It could have been very different for us.
Yes, I agree.
In the environments that we grew up in and, the times that we grew up in. But, we out here striving, pushing forward y poniendo la bandera en alto. República Dominicana, even if we're, what do they call it? I forgot. When we're out here, I forgot the name. La diáspora.
Okay, la diáspora. Okay, I thought you were going to say un Dominican Joe or algo así.
No. That was my father. He used to say that.
Okay.
No. Even though we're here in the United States, we're still very much in tune. I say I'm Dominican. Even though I'm very proud of having been born in the United States. I love America. I love all the opportunities that it has afforded my parents. But when you ask me, ¿qué tú eres? Yo digo, yo soy dominicana.
Yeah, and you are. I just want to be clear. You are. Like, we're really proud of this country for allowing us opportunities to grow and so forth.
Very much so.
You can't. Your blood just can't let you go anywhere else. That's why you listen to bachata or merengue and you start getting ready to dance. We're Dominican Americans, but we're Dominicans.
One question.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched La Casa?
No. So I want to be clear. The first season, I watched like 50% of the time.
Okay.
The second season, I was going crazy because La Fruta.
That was my season.
Yeah. Okay. So La Fruta for me, I was following him before he went to the show.
So you knew who he was?
Yes, I already knew who he was. Okay. And when my wife saw him come in, she was like, "Who is that?" I was like, "That's La Fruta. Him and his son. They're really funny." And we didn't think anything of him. But I was like, he's funny, baby. And he's like your father. He's like a father you're going to see. And he blew up. And I love those stories. It couldn't have happened to a better person. He's super funny.
Right? I love that it happened for him.
So, and I also followed the first winner, Crucita.
Oh, yeah.
I used to follow her too because she's real Dominican. She's really campesina and I'm from the campo. So I really connected. She uses the E's on purpose. So like I love her. But La Planeta, I haven't seen it at all.
La Planeta crazy. Listen. This is a whole this season it's been really crazy. They take people out. They put them back in. I haven't been able to really follow. And at this point, last week, they put new people in and I haven't really watched.
Yeah, but I'm not, that's it. I think that
he's like, listen, I'm busy running Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly.
You're asking me if I watch Planeta.
But I also want to, I'm really worried about Dominican Republic, like young people in the Dominican Republic. The access to social media, the access to these shows is like exclusively like where they are. And, I worry about it. I am concerned about the education of young people in the Dominican Republic, so they get easily influenced, and we're seeing a rise in like el tigueraje. And it's a different style of tigueraje than what we were young.
Was. It's a little deeper. Oh, no, everybody get los tigres. But the tigres, you could walk by them and nothing happened.
Yeah, because the tigres were doing it, I feel like, for love, like for survival, like their means to survive. These kids are being like, so el tigueraje is a flow.
Listen, La 42 is a lifestyle.
Oh, yeah, así mismo, exactly. What are you doing in La 42? No kids should be out there. It'd be 6 a.m. and they're getting started in La 42. But my wife lives in Valiente. It's like three like streets away from La 42.
Oh,
so it's wild.
She knows exactly what it is. She might be like, ¿qué buscan esa gente metido para allá?
And it's just not, I'm worried for the young people in the Dominican Republic. There's less jobs out there. It's a poor country. They're not well educated. They all looking to hustle and find a job. So that is like a perfect storm for a whole generation to be lost. Yeah.
When you retire, ya tú sabes, te vas para allá.
I want to go to DR. I want to make a difference out there too. That's
100%.
Like,
you know,
I could retire out there.
That's something that would be dope. You know, I think about it myself sometimes.
Yeah. They need us out there too. You know, because everybody wants to come to New York. By the way, this is not the 80s and 90s no more.
It's not.
In the 80s and 90s, you could make something of yourself. Right now, you come here, you're gonna spend half of your money on rent in a room. Like you're not gonna bring anything back home. Back in the day, you could spend $200-$300 a month. You building a house in DR. Now you can't do anything. $200-$300 doesn't do anything. 15,000 pesos no hace nada.
Eso no hace nada. Tú sales a comer. Yo estaba en la República Dominicana last week y salimos a comer. 4 gente, $400, como si nada.
No.
Yes.
You gotta come to Puerto Plata. My wife.
Yo estaba en la Romana. Ese fue el problema. Me metí para casa de campo.
No, you wildin'. I went there too. You gotta stop. We got beautiful beaches that are
Puerto Plata la próxima vez.
La Ensenada or Punta Rusia is a little more fancier. La Ensenada. You go there, it's still Dominican.
Apúntame la
and I had 8 people in a party, eight of us, and it was 12,000 pesos for 8 of us, which was $200.
Are you kidding?
So there you go, $200, and we ate fried fish. You know, they fried fish. We had some pina coladas.
De todo.
A couple of lobsters, and it wasn't crazy. But my wife is from Boca Chica. And it came out to like 30,000 pesos in Boca Chica and only 12,000 in Puerto Plata. It's just, the capital's too wild. Yeah, the capital's too wild.
Tengo que ir para Puerto Plata la próxima vez.
Puerto Plata, wait.
Me metí para SBG y olvídate.
My mom just finished her house, so if you need a place to stay, give
me
a call. I'm serious. You can
no, pues somos familia tuya. Somos familia tuya. Maritza, te voy a llamar. Dime.
Mami, ahí tengo. My mom is like, deja de dar la casa de nosotros. Ahorita se pone vieja. I'm like, no, you gotta use it.
You can't use up a house, Maritza. Come on. Si la limpiamos y le ponemos una pintura, ya está nueva de nuevo.
No, but I'm serious if you do, because I really am a promoter of Puerto Plata, and it's a different style.
I've never been. I got to go to that side of the
You would love it.
Yo, Punta Cana siempre y la capital. Mi mamá vive ahí en la capital. Bueno, when she
just
goes
Punta Cana is just like it's too
commercialized.
Yeah,
touristy, right?
It's not. It's just like it doesn't represent. It represent. They do a good job of representing our culture and our beautiful beaches, but it. You know what I like? La Terrenas, for example.
Yeah, La Terrenas. Not during Semana Santa, you know, but La Terrenas. I fear for my life to go there in that week.
I hear you, but in La Terrenas, you go out to the town and you're just sitting there. And you're like, I want a coconut and a little kid. Oye, ¿qué tú quieres? Un coco. Vengo ahora. Comes with like 6 cocos, and you're giving them like some change, and it's just like that hustle, that like energy. They're in a little motorcycle. Like you get that going to the city, going to the campos. And over there, yeah, they'll get you a coconut, but it's like a guy buttoned up and looking cool, and it's just like respect for that. Yeah, you don't want that.
They bring it on a silver platter.
I want the little 8-year-old fighting with a fire.
You want him to climb the tree.
Yes,
Un machetazo y cayó el coco.
I like the hustle. They try to sell me limoncillos for like twice the price because they know, they hear my accent. They're like, oye, este de allá. They're like, 100 pesos. He's like, yo no te voy a dar más de 50 pesos.
Amiguito, 50 pesos por los limoncillos, no relajes.
There you go. And what are you going to get? Like Tiana que te quieren say they want to do braids and give you massages at the beach. That's DR. That's what I want.
Yo voy a Boca Chica también.
Boca Chica's good too. I like Boca Chica's
Puerto
okay.
Plata, I have to make it there. And you know what it is? I go with people all the time. And they always want to go to resorts, and they always want to go to this and that. Tengo que ir sola. Tengo que coger un hiatus del podcast, del trabajo. Y irme para allá, una chancletica, unos shorts y ya.
You take care of yourself. Everybody takes care of you there. You don't need to worry about it.
Claro que sí. Nah, man. But I really, really want to thank you, for taking the time, coming here today, sharing your story. And, we have established a connection. You, your office, iHeartRadio.
Yes.
Aquí estamos a la orden.
Gracias. Muchas gracias. Que Dios te bendiga a ti, and good job. You're doing a great job. Really proud, and I'm grateful. Thank you. Our people, we got to show also support for each other, how we have each other's 100%. Back, a solidarity. And whatever 100%. You need, you just reach out. If I could be helpful always. All right?
Gracias.
Gracias.
Come again.
There you go. All right.